So in today's class, we're going to talk about sculpting our cheekbones and baking. You might have heard about it, maybe you already do it, but if you don't know about it, I'm so happy to show you. So stick with me, we're going to sculpt some cheekbones, get some contour, and I'm so excited to show you how to bake. So I've already done my eyes, I've done my face, but I haven't done any contour, so right now my face is pretty much just flat, and we're going to change that. First thing I'm going to do is show you what baking is, and this is the brand new powder concealer brush. It's double-ended, the side is fluffy and big, and this one is fluffy and small. What I'm going to do today is show you the Behold setting powder, and this is how you bake. Okay, we're going to take the larger end. We're just going to tap it into the product here so it's on, and I'm going to pat it in place. And I'm just dabbing it on. You can see the powder kind of flying around. If you guys want to close your eyes, you can while you do this. Now this is going to set there. To the other side. I'm going on the top of my cheekbones all the way to my hairline. And I'm dabbing. I'm not brushing it on. I'm dabbing, and what this is doing is sort of pushing the product onto my face, but definitely it's making sure it's there rather than I'm brushing it. I'm actually sort of pushing it. Okay, so let me just take a little bit more, and we're going to go into our T-zone. Now I'm wearing a black shirt to demonstrate. Let me go down my nose. A really important point. You're going to have a lot of fallout. Okay, so if you don't want the fallout to be on your clothes, go ahead and put on a hoodie, throw on a sweater, throw on a smock, or just wear a different shirt that you'll be wearing out, because it does fall out because you're dabbing. This is a very light, luminescent powder. Okay, now also for our contour, we're sculpting our cheekbones, so we got the top here, but now we need the bottom. And you're going to see all of this come together when we're done. Dabbing it in place. And again, this technique is called baking. And it's called baking because I'm going to leave this on my face while I do my contour, while I do my blush, while I do my highlight. And at the end, I'm going to go brush it off. And what it's been doing this time, about 5 minutes or so while I'm doing everything else, is sitting and working with my body heat, quote unquote, baking. That's why it's called baking. Now we're going to take the smaller side, and we don't want to forget, see when you dab it, there's like a little mesh, what should I say, cover. It actually pushes into the powder, so you're pushing it in, swiping off that excess. Look how much that is. Okay, now this is going to be right for your brow bone area. So you do want to use that little end of the brush here for this. This is going to give the illusion of a brow bone, a stronger brow bone, I should say. Just the illusion of a stronger brow bone. It's also where we're going to put some highlighter, but this is the basic foundation of baking. So we're going to let that sit. Now we're going to jump into the contour. Using my sculpting trio, which is awesome. It has a convenient mirror. It also has a protective cover over the product, which shows you diagrams of how to use each one. I'm going to jump right into the contour and use the darkest color. A contour brush is really important to use for this technique. You need a contour brush is like shorter, a little bit stubbier, kind of curved, so that you can really work with it. And it's got the center, so you can work with it and hold it in a stronger way than you would, like a blending brush. You'd want to hold in a lighter way. So we're going to just frame our face. First of all, go around the top of your forehead, around the hairline, down to the temple and around your face. Right around your jaw, and definitely below your jawline. Creating this shadow here will give you the illusion of having a slimmer face, so if you want to look like you just lost 5 pounds, that's always nice to know these little tips and tricks. Right under there, around the hairline, and this is not too intense. I'm going to blend it out. It looks crazy right now. But I'm going to go down here. This is a very important part to sculpting your cheeks, is when you do this with kissy face, I call it. It creates a shadow, and that's going to be on a different place on everybody. So make your own kissy face. And make that line right there. I'm just drawing my lines. I'm not blending yet. Just drawing it in so that you can see how you can do this for yourself as well. So this is called 3 and E. Okay, 3E. Now we're gonna go ahead and blend that out. I'm gonna use my mirror here this time. Blend it out super fast, and my setting powder is still on my face. Okay, I'm gonna blend these lines out. You definitely want to get a good hold of your brush so that you can use the flatter, wider side, how I'm doing here, to blend. Okay. The tip of the brush is actually in the hairline. Okay, this side is always tricky for me. I'm always better on my right side. Okay, now to further sculpt our cheekbones, you're going to then jump to the powder and the paddle side of the brush. Really dive in there. Just really be aggressive with it. And go right underneath, over the powder. And just let that sit. This is all going to come together. But you can see how I'm sculpting cheekbones. All of a sudden, I've given myself dimension and a little bit of interest in my face. So before, with just the foundation, your face is just flat and you've got awesome coverage, and that's great, but there's no like dynamics going on. Dynamics meaning highlights, shadows, contour. And so that's that, and we're going to keep this somewhat daytime. So I'm going to jump right now to my blusher. My color is Sweet. This is the Minerals Pressed Blush, and you definitely want to use a blush because I still look a little bit like my face needs a little bit of color. So using your blush brusher, this is an angled fluffy brush, okay? So we're going to tap it, barely tap it into the blush. Our pigments are very pigmented. I barely tapped it. You don't swirl. You'll really use too much if you swirl it around. Even that, tap off the excess. So you want to give yourself a smile and just kind of wisp it off the apples of your cheek like this. Then don't smile, and taking the lower end of the angle and taking that right there. I'm not quite going to the top of my cheekbone. So here's my contour, here's my blush, here's the setting powder, which is baking right now. Take that off, smile, and then don't. I love using blush. It was, blush can be so tricky. You know, some people don't use blush because they have a idea in their head that they're just gonna look like they've got big red cheeks. But if you use just a tiny dab and the right products, you just need a little bit and it goes a long way. I really doubt I'll ever have to replace this because I can't imagine. I've used this already for, oh man, probably a year. It's barely even looking like I've used it. So I'm pretty impressed, very, very impressed actually. Let's jump right into the highlight. So your sculpting trio has a shimmer highlight here, which you use with your finger. It's designed to use with your finger with your body heat. I'm going to put a touch of this here because I'm going to show you what else I'm going to use. This has got a gold tone to it. Okay, so I'm just going to dab it. I'm trying to create the illusion of a rounded cheekbone. I'm sculpting my cheeks. That's why this is called Sculpt. Baking and sculpting. Not your typical baking and sculpting. So that's going to give just a little tiny bit of a highlight. What I really want to do here is use my highlighter, my luminizer. We have a cream and a stick. So I'm going to show you today the stick. I also have used it to touch the center of my lips for this highlight you're seeing here. My color is iridescent. We have a color for every skin tone. You do need to use the right color highlighter. If you use iridescent and you're darker than me, it's going to look gray. You don't want to do that. But we do have a color for every skin tone. So whatever skin tone you are, let me know. We have your color and I will help you find it. Let me grab my mirror here. Okay, going to the highlighter, we're going to just put it right here, just like that. And then use our finger. And I'm still going right on top of that powder, but just barely, just barely. Okay, so I've created the illusion out of a sculpted cheek. See this side, even compared to this side without the highlighter, such a huge difference. So let's go to this side. I'm just drawing on that line. I'm going to just move my finger over it. Again, with my body heat of my finger, the body heat of on my face, this highlight is just looking gorgeous. Okay, now I'm going to go here, right down the center of your nose, right between your the the, oh, I always forget what that's called. Right between your eyes. Not to the end of your nose. If you guys remember, just go ahead and leave a comment because my brain is just not remembering right now. I want to say the bridge of your brow bones, but I'm not even. Okay, it's been a long day. So thank you for sticking with me. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a fan brush. This is our brand new fan brush. And because of the powder sitting there, it's been setting, and now we want to take it off, but just easily. We don't want to use a big powder puff brush for this because we have highlighter and we just want to kind of wisp off the excess. Okay. So now I'm just wisping off the excess. I'm also setting my makeup with the setting powder, so it's doing double duty. I just love this little fan brush. It feels like a butterfly kiss. And that is how you sculpt and bake. So what a difference. Simple products, simple tips and tricks. It is essential to have the right tools. I highly recommend getting an amazing brush set. We do have an amazing brush set for you. All the brushes I'm using are unique. All the products I've been sharing with you are unique. And so if you'd like to leave a comment and know more, just feel free. I'd be happy to help you if you're looking to replace a single brush and you don't have any brushes and where do you start. I'm so happy to help you. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Have fun baking and sculpting those cheeks.